My students got into Yale and other top 10 schools. Here's how they tackled the AP Lang MCQ. Hey everyone, welcome back to CT's AP Cookies. Over the past 7 years, I've helped hundreds of students score a 5 on the AP Language and AP Literature exams. I've studied these tests inside out so that you don't have to. In the past, students came to me for help not because they couldn't find the right answers when given an unlimited amount of time, but because they couldn't do it in a timed setting. So my job is to help you find the right answers in the most efficient way possible. Today, I'm breaking down the exact strategies my top students used when cracking the AP Lang Exigence MCQ. If you look up exigence in the dictionary, you'll find it means an urgent need or demand. But on the AP Lang exam, exigence means something else. According to the College Board, the exigence is the part of a rhetorical situation that inspires, stimulates, provokes, or prompts writers to create a text. Over the past 3 years, exigence questions have gotten harder and harder. But when my students use the tips I'm about to show you, their accuracy improves drastically. Tip number 1. Exigence questions are usually the first question on a passage, and you only need to read the first few paragraphs to answer them. Tip number 2. Watch out for tensions and identify the underlying emotions in the opening paragraphs. To understand what tension means, click the link in the top right corner. Let's now look at an exigence question, and I'll show you how to put these 2 tips into practice. So here are the first 2 paragraphs of the passage. When you read them, think about what emotions the author is conveying. Pause the video and give yourself enough time to read through the paragraphs. Alright, let's analyze the structure and the emotional undertone. In the first paragraph and the first 2 sentences of the second paragraph, the author talks about their inadequacy in Japanese. The emotions are mainly negative. The author talks about being unsatisfied and ashamed. And there's a shift starting in the third sentence of the second paragraph. The author says, "But I'm learning to embrace my imperfection." The author also says, "Writing in English about Japanese things makes my struggle feel productive, even beautiful." So the tone becomes more uplifting and optimistic. Because the author has this change in emotions from being frustrated and ashamed to being hopeful and appreciative, I am anticipating that the right answer would also be on the upbeat side. So when you look at the answer choices, you can immediately eliminate A and D. For D, the difficulty of doing something implies negative emotions. The 2 paragraphs also don't mention anything about family recordings, so E can be ruled out. Both B, fascination, and C, satisfaction, reflect positive emotions. But B doesn't reflect the change the author underwent, and C does. The author talks about the persistent problem of struggling with Japanese pronunciation. And when the author learns to embrace the imperfection, that is a resolution. So C is the correct answer. Okay, let's now look at another exigence question. Again, pause the video to give yourself enough time to read through the paragraphs. Here's something I noticed. Some students take a few minutes to find the right answers, while others get it in under 1 minute. Both groups answer correctly, but the time difference is huge. So what's the secret for efficiency? The difference is this. Some students read sentence by sentence, while some others read for structure. Reading for structure is an essential skill. Students with strong reading skills can spot the paragraph structure from the very first sentence alone. Let's simplify that first sentence. Numerous articles argue that artificial intelligence is so capable that it's inevitable. Let's simplify it even more. Many people argue that AI is good and unstoppable. If you're familiar with argumentative writing, you're already anticipating the author will say something like, "However, I disagree." This is a very common structure in academic writing. Many people argue that X. However, the argument is flawed. So as you continue reading, don't treat all sentences the same. Don't read everything at the same speed. Look for the sentence where the author begins to disagree. That happens in sentence 7. What rarely enters this breathless discourse is the possibility that the machine might be wrong. So how do you describe the author's exigence? You can feel the emotional undertone. The author is frustrated that people aren't discussing AI's problems. The author is angry that too many people are being overly optimistic about AI. So D and E don't fit the author's emotional undertone. And the paragraph doesn't mention anything about job displacement or funding. So although A and B have that negative undertone, C is the correct answer. So to sum up strategies for the exigence question, you don't need to read the whole passage. The exigence is in the first few paragraphs. If you're uncertain how many paragraphs you need to read, you can always come back to this question later. More importantly, think about what the author is responding to and whether the author is responding positively or negatively. The exigence usually falls into two categories. Either the author is excited about something. This is intriguing and inspiring and wonderful, and I want to share it with everyone. Or the author is frustrated and upset. Too many people are thinking or behaving in this way, and we need to pause and rethink. Alright, that's Exigence MCQ for you. Although these questions have gotten more difficult in recent years, if you practice the two tips I gave you today, you'll spot the right answers right away. In the next video, I'm tackling how introductions are tested in the writing MCQ. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Also, if you're struggling with essays and want personalized feedback, I offer essay review services. Check the description below for more details. Thanks for watching. See you next class.